So is it here? Then we stop less fast. Is it here? Yes, okay, start slide 99. Okay, so we did the exercise 3 last class, right? This one. Make questions using the present perfect continuous. Is that correct? Yes? So where is it? Where is this exercise? What page? Huh? Where is it? Exercise 3. Okay, now, okay, so we did exercise 2, now we have to do exercise 3, right? So make questions using the present perfect simple or continuous. So here's the example, the first example here, so let me just So, for example, here's the first one. Ever cry at cinema, right? So how do you make a question? Here's the question. Have you ever cried at the cinema? So now I want you to do B, C, D, E, F, G. I'll give you 1 minute. Go ahead, and then I'm going to start here the first student, okay? You know? You have to make a question. Okay, go ahead. B, C, D. Before we start, I forgot something here. I wanted to talk to you about. So I put it here, right? So today we are in week 14, okay? This is just a reminding, okay, for you. So our final exam will be week 18. So we are 15, 17, 18. 4 weeks before the final exam. Are you done? Are you prepared? Remember the speech? Because your final exam is oral. If you have any questions, please don't leave this for the last moment. Don't prepare your presentation for the last moment, right? So try to do it now if you haven't done so. Right? Do some rehearsal so you can get a good score. Okay? If you have any questions, send me a message. This is just a reminder. So like for example, here we are week 14, right? So we have this class right here. then week 16, one more class. 17, no class. And then week 18, our final class, which is the exam right here. Okay? Just reminding you. All right. Let's go back. Okay, so let's start there. So letter B. How do you make a question? How many times have you traveled by air? Okay, next. Have you ever read the same book twice? Okay, next. D. How long have you had your watch? Okay, next. How many times have you been to the USA? Okay, next, the person behind. How long have you been going to the same dentist? And then next. Have you ever owned a pet? Okay, so as you see, most often after those kind of exercise, you see this one here, right? Ask and answer the question with a partner. Sometimes I ask you in class, but many times I don't, right? So this is for you, actually, when you're reviewing the exercise, maybe with a classmate, you can practice, right? So practice is very important. If you want to speak well, if you understand you have to practice. So today when I speak, sometimes I will not speak, but this is, you can use this exercise, for example, to ask a classmate a question. Have you been to USA? No. If they say yes, how many times? So it's also an important conversation that you can get to know someone. For example, I'll be asking you here, so you're the next, right? For example, have you ever cried in the cinema? Yes, I cried the emotional movies? Like a what? Like a romance? Or somebody died? Huh? A novel? Notebook? Okay. For example, I could ask you, have you ever read the same book twice? Yes, I have. I read Harry Potter. Okay, so you must like Harry Potter. See, for example, she had read the same book twice. So it must be that maybe she likes the book, right? This is a very nice start, a way to start a conversation. I think it's the homework. Oh, okay, today you have a homework. Okay. So can I have your homework? I was forgetting about it. Can I have it? Okay. Can you deliver the homework? Do you have the homework? Yes or no? No. Oh, I thought I said yes. All right. All right. So let's go for the next one. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about. Oh, this is the. So this is a exercise that you do together with another partner, right? So how well do you know each other? How well do you know student B? So write student B name in the space provided below. Complete sentences AF according to what you think. Ask student B question beginning, how many or how long, to find out if you are right or wrong. So let's do this exercise. I want you to get together with your partner. For example, here you have a sitting partner, right? From here, maybe it's to here, to here, to here, right? So I want you to go to the page. What page is it? Not most of it on the book. Yes, for example, this is the page 121 or 121 and 123. So one of you is going to go to 121, the other one is going to go to 121, and the other one, 120. So the other students go to, what's the page? One is 121, and the other one is For example, you have to decide which one are you. So are you student A or student B, right? So if you are student A, right? So write the student B name in the space provided. So you write the student name B, student B name here. And then you're going to be thinking, I think, right? Student B has been wearing the same watch for 1 year, 1 month. He has no watch. Okay? So write, what do you think? Alright? So after completing the sentence, what do you think? You're going to be asking the student B. Okay, now, so how long have you been wearing your watch? For example, if you say 1 year and he said 2 years, you're wrong, right? So, for example, here, letter B, I think student B has visited 0 continents, never been out of China, or maybe have been visiting the United States and Australia, 2 continents. So make your guess, and then you ask this a little bit later, okay? So, and then if you are student B, right, student B, if you're a student B, so write the students A here. And that, the questions are a little bit different, right? So I think students A has visited how many capital cities? Like, I don't know, for example, China here, right? So every province has a capital, right? So how many capitals the student A has visited? Make a guess. And then later you're going to ask the student to see if you're right or wrong, okay? So I'm going to give you 1 minute for student A to ask student B, and then another minute for student B to ask student A, and then we're going to see how many got right or wrong, okay? Is that okay? Okay, I'll put 1 minute here for the student A to ask student B. Okay, go ahead. So, who is student A? Are you student A or B? Huh? Okay, for example, are you A or B? A. For example, student A, right? So let me put that there, A. Okay, student A. Okay, so I think student B, right? So what's the name? What's her name? What's her name? Huh? Okay, I think Joe Boyan has been wearing this same watch. Do you have a watch for how long? For example, I think John Boyan has been wearing the same watch for, what do you think? For how long? So how long do you think she's wearing that watch? 1 year? 1 month? Huh? Just 1 year? Okay, is she right? Yes? 1 week only? Okay. For example, next, I think John Boyan has visited how many continents? Yes, what do you think? How many continents? sentence have you visited? Really, which country? Which of those countries? Those three countries. Can you tell me what countries? Three, right? So tell me. What countries? Japan? Did you visit Japan? Tell me the country that you have visited. Japan, UK, what is and USA. Have you been to those three countries? Good? So don't make it up, right? Make it true, right? So don't make it up. You understand? So I'll leave this exercise for you to do as a study, okay? This is important, okay? So this is how you get to practice conversation, okay? Do you understand? So get together. This is not a homework, right? If you want to speak well, you have to do those exercises. This is a nice way to get to know your partner, okay? So make a guess and then see if you're right or wrong, okay? So for example, now we're doing student A to student B. So if I'm going to go do the opposite, right? So if I do the opposite, now it's the student B, right? Start the student B. For example, you're a student B, okay? So let me go over with you here. So you're student, what's your name? Okay, so I think Maharu has visited how many capital cities? Okay, is she right? Let's say, okay, so which one is it? None? Beijing. Okay, so for example, number 2, I think Monhawa has been using the same computer for 2 years. Is that true? Okay. So we get it right. So this is how you do the exercise. If it's not, guess wrong, no problem. It's still the right answer. Maybe you can ask following up questions. Okay. So what's your computer? Is it a Windows? Is it a MacBook? What kind of computer? Do you like it? So what's your favorite software? This is a starter conversation, right? So I urge you to start speaking English. Because most of the excuse I get from students is I don't practice too much. I don't have anyone to practice. I don't have a foreign friend. That's not an excuse. You have to practice with your classmates. Okay? Alright. So and also, so I want you, maybe you can do this by yourself later. Okay? So let's move on. Okay, let's talk a little bit about grammar. Okay? So this is on page 130. So read the explanation and do the exercise. Okay, here's the explanation. The present perfect always shows a connection between the past and the present. It can describe the following. Number 1, a finished action or actions that happen in time up to now. You don't say when it happened. Usually present perfect. Simple. Here's some example. I have bought him a nice jacket. Or number 2 there. She's run several marathons. Third example. Have you ever swum in the ocean? Okay, number 2. Or an unfinished action or actions that start in the past and continue now, usually present perfect continuous. Here's some examples. It's been raining all day. Or I have been learning English since 2008. Have you been away too long? So it started actually in the past, and now it's still happening, right? So have you been waiting until it's still waiting right now? Or I've been learning since 2008, but now it's 2025, 26, you're still learning. So it started in the past, but you're still doing. Number 3, an unfinished state that starts in the past and continued now. So usually this is the present perfect simple. I have known Tim for ages. So it started in the past, but I still know him today. She's been here since yesterday. So she came here in the past, but she's still here, right? So how long have you had that car? You bought a car in the past, but you still have the car. So how long do you have it? Okay. So what's the difference between a dynamic and a stated meaning? So actions and states. What does that mean? So most verbs have dynamic meanings. They describe actions. Something happens. When you want to describe an unfinished action, means one that started in the past and continued now. For example, you usually use the present perfect continuous. Here's an example. I have been staying with friends. So it started in the past and it's still being with the friends today, right? So it started in the past and it's still going on. Next example, have you been doing, what have you been doing all day? So maybe you start at the beginning of the day, now you're still doing, right? At the middle of the day, right now. So you started, and now it's still going on. Here's a note. You can sometimes use the simple form to indicate unchanging, permanent situations. Let's do a comparison. I have been working here for a few weeks. So this is temporary. I've been teaching here for a few weeks, maybe not next week, right? Temporary. Now, I have worked here since I left school. This is permanent. So I got a job here. So I'm working here since I left school. I stopped school, now I'm working here. This is permanent. Some verbs connect with knowledge, emotion, or possessions have stated meaning. So they describe states. Nothing happens. So that's a state. When you want to describe an unfinished state, meaning one they started in the past and continue now, you can use the present perfect continuous. Here's an example. I have flu. I have had flu for a few days. You don't say, I have been having flu. That's the wrong way to say it. Another example. She has known me for a long time. You don't say, she's been knowing me. This is the wrong way to say it. Okay. Now, here's some common verbs that often have stated meaning. Admire, adore, appear, be, believe, belong, concern, consist, contain, deserve, detest, dislike, doubt, envy, exist, keep, hate, have, hear, know, like, love, matter, mean, owe, own, possess, affirm, realize, recognize, remember, resemble, see, sing, sound, smell, surprise, understand, want, and wish. A lot of verbs, right? So now we have to do an exercise with those verbs, probably. Oh, here, okay, some verbs can have both stated and dynamic meanings. For example, Bob has had a car since it was new. So have means a stated meaning. So here's he is being having some problems with it recently. So Bob has had a car since he was new, but now he's having some problems with the car, right? With it recently. Have dynamic meaning. So the first one is stated. The second one dynamic. So for and since, these are the special cases. For plus a period of time and since plus a point in time. What's the difference? Are two ways of saying the same things. You often use them with the present perfect when talking about unfinished action or state. Here's an example. You use for when you give the length of time, for a few hours, for the 3 months, for ages. So you use for when you give the amount of time, right? And you use since when you give the beginning of time. Since Sunday, since I left university, since 2005. Being in the past, okay, being is the past participle of be. But you can also use it as a past participle of go. Let's do a comparison. He is been to the gym. So he went and came back. He's gone to the gym. He went and he's at the gym right now. Okay, so when you say been, he went there and came back. When you say gone, he's going there and now he's still there. He didn't come back yet. Alright. So after those small issues of grammar, so let's do the exercise. We're going to put the practice what we just reviewed. So complete the table with the words in the box. So we have those words here. 3 years, I was 10, ages, 2002, I was born, Monday, a while, 3 o'clock, nearly 6 months, my birthday, last week, several hours, March. For example, here, you're going to use those words for 3 years, you use for 3 years. Remember, I'm telling you how long is the time. And since, I give you the beginning of the time. I don't give you how long is the time. For example, since I was 10. For, I give you how much time. Since, I give you the beginning of time. So, for 3 years, this is how much time. Since I was 10, this is the beginning. I started when I was 10. For example, I started studying English when I was 10. So I started when I was 10, maybe it's still doing it right now. So I wanted to put those words inside of those boxes. Okay? Go ahead, I'll give you a few moments. Page 131. 131. Okay, who's next? I don't remember. Who's next? Okay, so let's do it. So, all the answers. Okay. Okay, so ages. Where does it go? Huh? Okay, for ages. Okay, 2002. Next person. Huh? Since I was born. Okay, I was born, huh?
I was born in
So you put it here, right? Since. Okay. Since I was born. Okay, the beginning. Okay. So Monday, next person. Yes. So where do you put it? You put it under for or you put it under since? So Monday, under since Monday. Okay. A while. For or since? No, for a while, right? For example, I'm doing these tasks for a while. So this is the amount of time, right? Okay, so while is it for a while? Okay, 3 o'clock. Since nearly 6 months. For 6 months, right? For 6 months. My birthday. Since my birthday, yes. Last week. Since last week. Several hours. For several hours. Okay. March. Since March. Okay. So here's all the answers. Okay. So let's review. For 3 years, right? For ages. For a while. For nearly 6 months. For several hours. So this is how much time, right? So this is the amount of time. Since I was 10, since 2002, since I was born, since Monday, since 3 o'clock, since my birthday, since last week, since March. Any questions? Okay, let's move on. So put the verbs into the present perfect simple or continuous and complete the sentence to make them true for you. So use the verb go. So I have been going to the same hairdress for So now, for example, make this sentence true for you. So you have been doing how long for this hairdress? So maybe, I don't know, girls go to the hairdress. For how long you go to the same one? For 3 months. Since I start university, I'm going to the same hairdress, because the hairdress is here at university. So you can complete the sentence in the way it's becoming true for you. You understand? So I want you to B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, go ahead, you'll give 1 minute. Okay, who's next? Okay, so letter B. Okay, I have been going to the same dentist since you're 17. Okay, so next. So I have had my TV for nearly. Okay, 6 months. Okay. Letter D, next. Okay. Next person. Who's next? Yes. Four? Okay. F, next person. Okay. G, next person. So I have been using the same English dictionary for?
1 year.
Okay, 1 year. Okay, good. Letter H, next person. So I have been sitting in this chair for 1 year. Okay. So now I want you to write a question for the same sentence, right? So we're going to write a question. For example, this is the answer, right? So what would be the question for this answer? For example, letter A, right? I have been going to the same hairdresser for 1 year, okay? So the question would be, how long have you been going to the same hairdresser? So now I want to write the question for these answers. Okay, go ahead. Write the questions. So you have the answers already. So I want to write the question. Frank? Okay, Frank. Okay, what's the question for letter B?
How long have you been going to the same campus?
How long have you been going to the same dentist? Okay, next person, letter C. What's the question for letter C?
How long have you had your TV?
How long have you had your TV? Okay, person behind. Next. B. Huh? How long have you been studying English? Okay, next person.
How long have you been doing the same job?
How long have you been doing the same job? Okay, next person.
How long have you known your oldest friend?
How long have you known your oldest friend? Okay, next person.
How long have you been using the same dictionary?
How long have you been using the same English dictionary? Okay, last person, next person.
How long have you been sitting in the chair?
How long have you been sitting in that chair? Okay. For example, this is again like the exercise that you should be doing at a partner, right? So ask a partner those questions. So you have those questions here, and the partner should be answering the questions like this. Partner will be answering the question using this format here, right? For example, if you ask how long have you been sitting in this chair, your partner should be answering, I have been sitting in this chair for 3 years, or since the beginning of the semester. So I will leave this for you to practice with your partner, okay? This is not a homework, but again, if you want to learn English, you have to practice, right? So today is English Corner again. They didn't send me a message yet, but I suppose they're going to have it. So I always there, right? It's 7 p.m. I'm going to the 3:3. Some students go there and have a nice talk. So if you show up there, I'll be there 7 o'clock. If you want to talk, right? But you have to start practice, right? So this is a nice way to practice with a partner. All right. So exercise number 3. Complete the sentence with God or being. Number A is done for you. So it's been really hot today. So I want you to complete B, C, D, E, F, G. Go ahead. I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, who's next? Okay, so letter B. I have been to the gym. I feel really tired. Okay, next. Then you're the last one, right? So we start here again. Letter C. So I had a headache earlier, but it's gone now. Okay, next person. She's gone to get some books. Okay, not me. So the teacher will be back soon. She's gone to get some books. Okay, next. Okay. parents are away. They have gone abroad. Okay. F. I have been on a holiday for ages. Okay, next person behind. I have been to Africa. I have gone there. I haven't gone very visit lately. Okay, the blue question there. In which sentence is being the past participle of go? So here's the answer, right? So in which sentence is being in the past participle of go? So these are be, have, G. So they are past participle. Now I want you to take the sentences that are true for you. Okay? So you go ahead and make a tick for the sentences that are true for you. So who's next, please? Okay. So tell me one sentence that is true for you. B. So you have been going to the gym? Okay. How many times do you go every week? Twice a week. Do you enjoy it? Not so much. Why do you go? Okay, next person. Tell me one sentence that is true for you. G. Why? Okay, so far maybe expensive. Okay, tell me one sentence that is true for you. Huh? Hey. So it's been really hot today. Really? Okay. Tell me one sentence that is true for you. C. I had a headache earlier, but it's gone now. Okay, did you took any medicine? What's the name of the medicine? Huh? Ibuprofen? Oh, okay. I do the same medicine. Alright, so next person, one more. So tell me what sentence that is true for you. F. I haven't been on a holiday for ages. What's the last holiday that we had? What's the last holiday? Huh? Labor Day? May 1st, right? For example, how many of you went home on Labor Day? For example, you get 5 days, remember? 5 days, right? And then many of you went back home. How many of you went home? Not so many. Maybe okay. Maybe, I didn't, not enough time. For example, for me, 5 days is not enough. So for me to go to Brazil, it takes me 3 days to get to my mom's home. So 3 days to go, 3 days to come back is already 6 days. I need at least 1 month. That's why I go to Brazil only once or twice every year. All right. See, for example, those questions here are very nice way to practice. Maybe later you can use those questions to ask a partner. For example, if you tell them, my parents are away, they have gone abroad. Okay, what's the follow-up question? For example, let's say your partner said, my parents are away, they have gone abroad. So what could be the follow-up question? My parents are away, they're gone abroad. What's the follow-up question? Where did they go? Oh, they have been to Japan. Why did they go to Japan? Maybe there's a family there, but maybe there's so much fears about Japan. So you can start a conversation basically through all these questions, right? So you ask more questions related to the first one. So this is a nice way to practice English. Very nice. All right. 9, okay. Time for the break, right? I didn't hear the bell, 9:20 already. So I'll put here 5 minutes for the break, okay? 5 minutes. Okay, break time. so exercise number 4. Complete the questions with the past simple, present perfect, simple, or present perfect continuous. So letter A is done for you. How many times or go to UK? So the question is done here. How many times have you been to the UK? Okay? Okay, 1 minute to do the other one. Who's next? Okay, letter B.
How long have you been living at a restaurant overnight?
Okay, how long have you lived? Or you can say, how long have you been living at the same address? So you can use one or the other, okay? So these are 2 ways that you can do this, right? So how long have you lived at the same address? Or how long have you been living at the same address? Okay, you can do those 2 ways. Okay, letter C. So which private school did you go to? Okay, letter D. So when did you learn to ride a bike? Okay, next. How many Harry Potter books have you read? Okay, next. How long have you been going to the same doctor? Okay, next. G.
What time did you get up?
What time did you get up? Okay, next. Where did you have lunch? Okay, so now let's go to your practice, right? Just like that, you can use those questions, right? Use the next one. When did you learn to ride a bike? Did you know how to ride a bike? So when did you learn? When you were 10 years old. Okay. So next question for you here. What time did you get up today? 8 o'clock. You don't know? 7 o'clock? Okay. And for you, okay, so where did you have lunch yesterday? Because you didn't have lunch today, right? Yes. Okay, where did you have lunch yesterday? Huh? 12 o'clock? Where? The question is not when, it's where. Where? Dormitory. So you get your lunch in the canteen and go to the dormitory. Okay. Alright. See, sometimes you have to adapt the question, right? When you practice using those questions for practicing. For example, I could not ask her where did you have your lunch today because none of you have lunch today yet. Right? So I adapt the question. Right? Where did you have lunch? Yesterday, right? For example, I see a lot of you don't stay in the canteen. A lot of you then before they go back to the dormitory. Why don't you stay in the canteen? Why? So for example, why you did not stay in the canteen? Why? Why not? Why not stay on? Is it hot? Really? Oh, too many people. Oh, when it's crowded, it's very hot. Okay. Alright. notice again. All right. Okay, number 5. Read this sentence, pairs, and choose the correct ending in each case. So discuss your choice with a partner. For example, number 1. I have known my teacher for a long time, or I have known my teacher very well. So which one is the correct one? So you have to choose one, right? So choose the correct ending and discuss your choice with the partner. I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, go ahead and then go one by one again. Okay, who's next? Okay. Okay, number 1A, right? I have known my teacher for a long time. That's the best answer, right? Okay, next person. So 1B, right? 1B, I know my teacher. There you go. Okay, 2A, next person. So 2A, I have been going for yoga class for years. Okay, 2B. Yes, I'm going to yoga class this evening. Okay, Frank, 3A. I lived in an apartment since I was a child. Okay, next person. I live in an apartment at the moment. Okay, again, are any sentence true for you guys? Are any of those sentences true for you? Let's see the next person there. So is there any sentence that are true for you? None of it is true for you? Okay, is it anyone true for you? Huh? A? 1A? So I have known my teacher for a long time. Which teacher? Primary teacher? Do you still have contact with your primary teacher? Okay. So how long has it been? How many years? 10 years. Okay. See, again, right? So you can use those questions when you start the conversation, right? All right. All right. So let's move on. So by the way, do you know, for example, you cannot say I have known my teacher very well. You say I have known for a long time, but I know my teacher Very well. So can you notice the subtle differences? Why you can use for a long time and very well? For example, here's the difference, right? I have known, when you say this, I have known for a long time. But when you say I know for a long time, doesn't sound good. I know it very well. Okay? So these are the subtle differences that you have to notice. Alright. So now let's do a vocabulary. So we're going to hear this clip 122. So read and listen to the 6 people talking about the qualities they look for in an ideal partner. So which person is most or is least like you? Okay, so let's listen 122.
A. I like a man who can look after me. My ideal man has to be athletic, hardworking, down-to-earth, reliable and romantic.
B. Well, I'm quite shy and sensitive, so I'm usually attracted to women who are outgoing and self-assured. C.
I think the most important thing is a good sense of humour and a kind heart. My ideal partner is witty, generous and thoughtful.
D. I couldn't live with a miserable, narrow-minded person. The person I share my life with has to be cheerful, broad-minded and optimistic. E.
I'm looking for a good-looking, kind, faithful partner who can cook really well.
F.
My ex-partner was big-headed, demanding and self-centered. So next time I'd like someone modest, easygoing and considerate.
A.
I like a man who can look after me. My ideal man has to be athletic, hardworking.
Do you need to listen again, maybe? Yes? Okay, though it's good to listen one more time. Okay, let's listen one more time.
A.
I like a man who can look after me. My ideal man has to be athletic, hardworking, down-to-earth, reliable and romantic.
B. Well, I'm quite shy and sensitive, so I'm usually attracted to women who are outgoing and self-assured.
C.
I think the most important thing is a good sense of humour and a kind heart. My ideal partner is witty, generous and thoughtful.
D. I couldn't live with a miserable, narrow-minded person. The person I share my life with has to be cheerful, broad-minded and optimistic. E.
I'm looking for a good-looking, kind, faithful partner who can cook really well.
F.
Big-headed, demanding and self-centered. So next time I'd like someone modest, easygoing and considerate.
Alright, so let's move on here and see. So complete the table with the highlighted words from the exercise one. So this is the exercise one, you just listened twice already. So complete the table with the highlighted words from the exercise one. Use your dictionary if necessary. For example, so here's it from the interview, right? For example, similar, what's faithful, right? It's similar to be loyal. It's the opposite of being unfaithful. Okay, now we see the other 2 words here. So similar to be considerate and opposite to be thoughtless. So what is the word here that goes in letter B? So remember, those words are supposed to come from those dialogues here, right? For example, you have a lot of words here, right? Down to earth, reliable, romantic, outgoing, easy, self-assured. So we have a lot of vocabulary here. So what's the word that is similar to considerate and opposite to thoughtless? So what is the word that goes in letter B? So I want you to try to do B, C, D until the end, okay? So I'll give you 1 minute and see if you can complete all of it in 1 minute. I know maybe a little bit short, but let's try. I'll put 1 minute there. So look those words in the exercise 1. Go ahead. Try to do the thing. You can use the dictionary, no problem. You can talk to a partner, no problem. Okay, who's next? Okay, letter B, what's the word? Huh? Thoughtful, yes, good. Next person, C. Big head, right? So similar to arrogant, opposite to modest. Okay, letter D, next. Down to earth, similar to realistic, practical, opposite to unrealistic, impractical. Letter E, next. Self-assured, similar to confident, opposite to unconfident. Okay, next. Outgoing, similar to sociable, opposite to shy. Okay, next person here again. So, cheerful, cheerful, right? The word. So, similar to optimistic and opposite to miserable. Okay, next word, H. Huh? Self-centered, right? Self-centered is similar to selfish and opposite to unreliable. Opposite to unselfish. Okay, here. Reliable. Reliable, similar to trustworthy, opposite to unreliable. Okay, next. Huh? Witty. Witty. Okay, witty is similar to amusing, opposite of dull. Okay, next person behind. If you're wrong, no problem. Okay, don't worry too much. So broad-minded is similar to tolerant and opposite of narrow-minded. Okay, last one. Easygoing is similar to relaxed and opposite to demanding. Any questions here? You need to take a picture. Can I move on? Can I move on? All right. So a language note for you guys. So vocabulary: considered versus considerable. So the two adjectives are easily confused by the meanings, but their meanings are very different. So considered means thoughtful, and considerable means large. So they are very similar words, but a lot of students they make the confusion here, right? Considerate means thoughtful. So for example, I am considerate of a student, so I mean thoughtful, right? I'm going to help them. If I say considerable, it means I'm large. For example, I have a considerable amount of I don't know, food in my fridge, it means I have a large amount of food there, right? So when you say considerable means large. All right. Okay, number 3. What qualities do you look for in an ideal partner? So remember, we did the number exercise number 1. People are saying, oh, my ideal partner is this, right? So I believe you always have your own ideal partner. So what qualities do you look for in your ideal partner? List the 6 most important qualities. Find someone else in the class who has chosen the same qualities. Okay, so maybe it's going to be, okay, do the first part. So I'll give you one, okay, I'll give you a few moments. So what qualities do you look for in your ideal partner? List the 6 most important qualities. Go ahead, put some qualities that you're looking for in a partner. Go ahead. I'm not seeing you guys writing. Write it down. So what qualities are you looking for in a partner? For example, if I have to answer this question, I would be saying I look for a partner who's honest. That's on my list. Honest. I would look for a partner who's committed. That's on my list. But that's my list. What is your list? You can look in the dictionary, right? You can look at the previous exercise. Are you done? Yes? So who's next? Okay. Tell me one characteristic that you're looking for. First one. Huh? Easygoing. So how many people choose easygoing? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. A lot of people. Okay. So who's next? This way, this way. Okay. So tell me one characteristic that's not easygoing. Optimistic. Does anyone else choose optimistic here? Only you? Nobody else? Oh, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. Tell me one that is not optimistic and not, which one is yours? Easygoing. Okay, tell me another one. Huh? Faithful. 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 Right. Faithful. Faithful? Faithful. Faithful, not faithful. Faithful. What does it mean, faithful? Huh? Loyal, right? Loyal, somebody who's not betraying you, right? So you want somebody to betray you. Okay, so okay, how many people choose faithful? Is one of the characteristics. Okay, 1, 2. This is an important quality. You don't want to be betrayed by your partner, right? That's very important. Okay, tell me another characteristic. Huh? Sorry? Broad-minded. Okay, broad-minded. Okay, does anyone choose broad-minded? Anyone? No one. You're the only one. Okay, broad-minded there too? Okay, one more student. Okay, tell me one characteristic. Huh? Thoughtful. Okay, she chose thoughtful. Anyone else choose thoughtful? Okay, 1. Okay, a lot of people choose thoughtful. Okay. Alright, so for example, for me, I would be choosing like honest person, right? Thoughtful, but I also choose a cute one. That's me, right? Alright, so let's move on. So pronunciation now, pronunciation part. So listen and repeat the words. Underline the stress syllable for each word. Alright. So let's listen to 23 now.
A. Loyal. Cheerful.
Impractical.
B.
Interesting. Sociable. Miserable. Considerate.
C.
Ambitious. Demanding. Creative. Intelligent.
Okay, so I just let you listen out for the first part. And for example, it's very important that you know how to pronounce a word. For example, if you say loyal, is one way, but if you start saying loyal, it's another thing, right? For example, if you say cheerful, okay, this is the right way to pronounce. But if you say cheerful, it's not good, right? For example, faithful. If I say faithful, faith. So I'm just trying to give an example, right? If you don't pronounce the word correctly, it may be harder for the other person to understand what you're saying, right? So remember the exercise that I always talk to you about, it, like the reading exercise. You have a book that has an audio clip. So listen first, pay attention, and then you can read the same way, right? Then you listen first, and then you say it out loud so you can practice. This is important because people will not understand you if you start saying the words not the right way, right? So here is an exercise that we're going to do, right? So listen and repeat. Now I want you to repeat. After you listen, you repeat. Okay? So let's do it again. But at this time, I want you to repeat the word.
A.
I like a man who can look after me. My ideal.
A.
Loyal.
Loyal.
Cheerful.
Cheerful.
Faithful.
Faithful.
Impractical.
Impractical.
B.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Sociable.
Social.
Miserable.
Miserable.
Considerate.
Considerate.
C.
Ambitious.
Ambitious.
Demanding.
Demanding.
Creative.
Creative.
Intelligent.
Intelligent. Okay, so here are these are the okay. I should ask you to cross the underline first, but here's the answer, right? So let's listen one more time. But now, for example, you see the underlined part is the high pitch, right? The stress syllable is this one underlined here. So let's listen again. So you notice this is the stress syllable.
A.
I like a man who.
A.
Loyal. Cheerful.
Cheerful.
Faithful.
Faithful.
Impractical.
Impractical.
B.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Sociable.
Social.
Miserable.
Miserable.
Considerate.
Considerate.
C.
Ambitious.
Ambitious.
Demanding.
Demanding.
Creative.
Creative.
Intelligent.
Intelligent. Like I was explaining before, you don't say loyal, right? You say loyal. You don't say cheerful. You say cheerful. You don't say faithful. You say faithful, right? This is the stress syllable. You don't say impractical. You say impractical, right? You don't say interesting. You say interesting, right? You don't say sociable. You say sociable. You don't say miserable. You say miserable, right? So see how different the words sound if you put the stress in the wrong syllable. That's why this the exercise that I give it to you, you have to put out a book with the audio part, because you have to listen first. Many times, you don't know how to say the word because you never heard it before. And today, the technology has helped us so much because you can very easily find the internet and go with the audio part. So get a book that you enjoy reading and start reading one page every day. One page is not too much, it's going to take you 5 minutes, and your pronunciation is going to increase. And if you look at the dictionary, the meaning, your vocabulary is going to increase, and also your pronunciation is going to get better. So listening skills get better, pronunciation is getting better, vocabulary is increasing. This is a very effective exercise, and not many students are doing. Because if you're doing it, I noticed that your English will be much better. Alright, so we still have 10 more minutes maybe. Here's a language note for you. Pronunciation, word stress. So you can check the stress in any word by looking in your dictionary. Dictionaries usually mark the stress of a word as well as giving the phonetic script. In new, inside out syllable is always underlined. So you can see the dictionary, but I don't like it because they're talking about the stress syllable. I want to hear it. For example, the exercise is better done by hearing it than reading it. For example, if I let you, for example, here's an example. Right? Let's go back to the words here. Here you can read, right? This is the stress syllable. But I learn better if I hear it. Loyal, not loyal, right? So it's better for me to listen than for me to read it. So that's me, right? So that's why I use that exercise that I told you about. So Bible, the text part, and the listening part, so you can use together for study, right? Alright. But as you notice, every dictionary, they have a way to tell you, right? Which is the stress syllable. Alright. Okay, this is exercise number 2. Look again at the words in exercise 1 and circle the word in each group that has more syllables than the other words. So I want to circle the word in each group. I have group A, group B, group C. Which word that has more syllables than the other words? So I would like to listen again while you do this.
A.
I like a man who can look after.
A.
Loyal. Cheerful. Faithful. Impractical.
B.
Interesting. Sociable. Miserable. Considerate.
C.
Ambitious. Demanding. Creative. Intelligent.
Okay, who's next? So which one in the letter A has more syllables? Which one did you circle? So circle the word in each group that has more syllables. Which one in letter A? Impractical, right? Impractical. Okay. Next. Who's next? Okay, letter B. Which one? Consider. Okay. Next. Which one is letter C? Huh? Intelligent. Okay. Very well done. Okay. Okay, maybe this is a longer exercise. We still only have how much time? How much time do you have? 5 minutes. okay, we're gonna stop here. This is gonna take more than 5 minutes, right? So, okay, let's start this one next class. All right. So let's do something here in 5 minutes, okay? I don't know how many of you have been talking to me in the canteen or English corner. I know Frank has it, so he knows already. But usually, I usually talk to the students about this question a lot, right? Because there's one big problem in China. People are not getting married anymore. Not only in China, but everywhere in the world. So the fertility rate is declining. For example, countries like South Korea, so they're going to be extinct in 50 years if they don't do something very fast. Because their fertility rate, I think, is the lowest in the world. They have 0.72 children per couple. And that, for example, usually a country has to have a fertility of 2. Each couple has to have 2 kids to replace themselves, to stay stable. If you have less than 2, the population is declining. If you have more than 2, the population is rising, right? So in the past, all the countries in the world, that are having more than 2 because the population is growing everywhere. But now they're coming to a point, every country in the world, they're getting to a plateau. Now they're getting to lower, right? So I have read about it that China is already being declining. So the population in China is not growing anymore. My country is still growing, but it's kind of growing slower. So one day it's going to get to the plateau and start declining. So every country in the world is going through the same trend, right? And sometimes I ask myself, why is this happening? So why people don't want to get married anymore? Because, for example, in my view, I feel like that life is much better when you're around people that you love. So I love my brothers. So it will be very sad for me to be alone, being the only child, because I have my brother to play with, right? So I would like to hear your opinion. Why do people stop getting married in China? Does anyone want to share your thoughts? Why? Is it harder to find, for example, the ideal partner? For example, here's the question, right? What's the qualities they're looking for in the ideal partner? Is it hard to find a partner who has the qualities that you're looking for? Or I have seen a lot of people say, I'm not looking anymore. I stopped looking. So why are people doing this? Why? Do you have any idea? What's your opinion? For example, what I'm talking to you here, I know I still have just a few more minutes, right? But what I'm talking here is, for example, this is what I do in English corner, right? So go there, make a friend, start a conversation, discuss about topics that you find interesting, right? So that's how you learn how to speak English. So don't be shy, don't start talking to people, right? You'll have, for example, in this class, I point out a lot of examples, exercises, you can use those questions. You can bring your book to English corner, right? So a lot of those questions, a lot of things that are ideas, so that you can start talking. Because many students, they tell me, teacher, I don't know how to start a conversation. I don't know what to say. I'm stuck, right? So you can bring your book, right? Not for reading and doing exercise, just to get the ideas. A lot of those exercises, ask your partner, ask what they think, right? So what do you think? So this is all start a conversation. Many times, for example, today it's not raining. Probably the English corner will be in the 3 weeks. When it's raining, they ask me to do in class. When I go to class, I'll probably use the computer. I do a kind of a classroom. But that's not the ideal English corner. The ideal is when you go there, find someone to talk to. That's how you improve your English. And I see only few students enjoying English corner. This is supposed to be a fun activity. This is supposed to be when you make some friends. Alright? Alright, so level 5, okay. See you next class. No homework today. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.